Hello, welcome to Eating with Ernie today. We got our host, Ernie.
Hi everybody! How you guys doing out there? Well, tonight we have a good show for you. We got a delicious meal we're going to prepare. We're going to prepare some chicken fried steak for you. First off, what we're going to need on our chicken fried steak is you need some Ritz crackers. You're going to need some gravy. You need some cheap steaks like this right here. And we're also going to serve it with, to make it easy for you guys, we're going to serve it with some sliced carrots. So the first thing we got to do is, we're going to mashed potatoes and gravy. I forgot that. That's the most important part of the meal because
Damn, Skippy.
This guy loves mashed potatoes. Oh, and to introduce my assistant here, this is Brian. He's going to be helping me out today and through all the episodes. First off, we're going to grab the potatoes. You're going to always start off with the starch. So Brian's going to come over here, he's going to peel the potatoes while we get the chicken fried steaks ready. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I went out and bought 4 cube steaks. But these are pretty thick cube steaks, so what we're going to do is going to cut them in half and we're going to be able to double our total. And so the way you do that is you just get the cube steak, cut it right in half. And what I like to do, in this case I'm using metal measuring cup, you just put it on your cutting board and you just flatten it out. And I guess maybe the measuring cup isn't the best idea to use. You could also put a piece of aluminum foil, plastic wrap on top of this to make it a little bit more easy. Or you can even just press it out with your hand. Either way it works. So after you get it pressed out, you want to get it kind of thin. And so, just like so. And then you're going to have to bread it. And what I like to do is you got to use flour, egg, and in this instance I'm using Ritz crackers. You could use any type of breading. You could crush up some Wheaties. You could also crush up Cheerios, or you can just go out and buy breadcrumbs. Either way works. I like the sweetness of the Ritz in the steak, so that's what I'm using today. What you do first is you get the meat and you dust it right there in the flour. Make sure you get the flour. Put it right inside the egg, just like so. Make sure you incorporate the egg all around it. You kind of let all the moisture drip off. And then lastly, you sit there and you put it in the breading. And what I'm going to do, and that's the triple breading procedure. What I like to do is I like to do it twice. So I got it all nice and breaded, and then I'll put it in the flour again, just real quick. And then you put it right back in the egg, just real fast like that. Let it get dripped off. Put it right back. The breading mixture. And so that makes it a little bit more thick of a steak after you've thinned it out. It'll give you, make it seem like there's a lot more, and it'll fill you up easier. See how it looks a lot bigger now? And one other thing, when you're crushing up your Ritz crackers, you want to make sure you can get them as finely crushed up as you can. And so that's how you get it breaded. And while I finish these other, I guess it's going to be 7, Brian's going to show you what he's going to do with his potatoes for the mashed potatoes.
Alright, we're going to let these potatoes boil here until fork tender, and then they'll be ready to be mashed.
Now that we got the chicken fried steaks breaded and we got the potatoes cooking, we're gonna work on the gravy. Now me and Brian, being chefs and all, we can definitely make any sort of gravy from scratch. But for time and your convenience, we're gonna make it out of the packet. Brian's gonna make it out of the packet. Okay, so what we got going on here is we got the potatoes are almost ready, the gravy's done, and Brian's going to sit here and put the chicken fried steak so I can fry it right up. So what you want to make sure that's going on, he's got it good there. Make sure you get some type of shield. I'm using a pot cover, but you can use one of those natted covers that are designed to do that. But what you want to make sure is you got your oil, and I like to use vegetable oil, but you can use all sorts of different oils, but this is probably the best one for me to use. But what you want to make sure of is you have hot oil, and you make sure it's hot before you put anything on. You don't want to put your chicken fried steaks while the oil's getting hot. So I've got it set to about 7, 8. You don't want it too high because it'll splash and it'll burn. So I think let it fry a few minutes on each side. You want to make sure there's plenty of oil in there so it cooks up real good. And while we're doing this, we're keeping an eye on the gravy, making sure it doesn't get cold. We got it set on low while we're waiting. The potatoes are almost done. They're just getting done. Okay, so after about 4 to 5 minutes is when you want to flip it. That's if you have your settings on about medium-high. You don't want to set your oil too hot because it's better to cook at a semi-slower pace than a faster pace. So you just want to be really careful, make sure you don't splash yourself. And just flip it. You want a nice golden brown color on the top, just like so. And once you flip it, you're going to set it, and you're going to make sure you get your shield. And don't completely cover it, or it'll get a little hot and it won't work. You just want to make sure that it doesn't splash. And you let it sit there, and you let it sit for another 5 minutes, and then the steak should be done. Finished the mashed potatoes. We got some carrots out of the can, you know, again for your quick and easy convenience. And we got the steak plated up. The last thing I want to add is the gravy. And like I said, this is a country fried steak, not a chicken fried steak. The difference is the type of gravy. For a country fry, it's white gravy. And on most meats, you put the gravy on the bottom because you want to see your protein. But in this case, you put the gravy on top. So we're just gonna top the steak with a little bit of gravy there. And put a little bit of gravy on the mashed taters. Potatoes, either way. And there you go. Country fried steak for your liking. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. We plan to be coming at you with a lot more episodes in the future. So I'm going to enjoy this. Brian's going to do the dishes. I'll see you next week.
Either way you do it, it's gotta go.
You gotta stir it pretty fast here. You don't want it to get lumpy. You gotta turn this down.